I have just read Stranger Diaries, a gift from HMH Books, who I reached out to and said, hey, I want this. And they said, cool, I'll send it to you. And that's basically how I ended up getting this book. It was something I was interested in by the description. It's your sort of typical murder mystery, and I could not help but be intrigued. As it turns out, this book is getting a bit of mixed reviews, and I did bump it up my TBR because a friend of mine on Instagram really wanted me to review it so that she could decide if she wanted to buy it for her birthday books or not. So I was happy to do so, bumped it up, finished it in a few days, and here we are, so let's get into it. First things first, I gotta tell you what it's about. So basically, this is a book about a woman who works at a school. It's sort of an older school, and in the attic of this old school is where a famous writer once lived. This writer wrote a scary story called The Stranger, and this story, this short story, is going to be the thread throughout the entirety of this novel, which helps tie everything together. We have 3 different perspectives which change in each section. We have a mother who is also a teacher at this school. We have her teenage daughter, and we also have the police detective who is working the case. What sets this whole story off is that a fellow English teacher at the school is murdered, so naturally an investigation ensues, and we're essentially trying to figure out who the heck has done it. There's another element going on here though as the murders continue, and as the mother and teacher at the school find someone else has been writing in her diary and leaving her strange notes. All of these notes seem to tie in somehow to the short story from the famous author who lived in the school, and there are some gothic elements. It's the gothic elements that always tie me into these things, my friend. I simply can't resist. So let's talk about what was good and what was not so good about this book. What I liked was the concept for this book, and I liked the mystery aspect of it, this traditional whodunit, kind of like Magpie Murders, where essentially it's kind of old school but in a modern way, and I like that. I think it's more approachable, but you're also getting the more like Agatha Christie suspect list type of murder mystery, and that's just fun. So I liked the concept, I liked the gothic notes. However, I think overall this book is more on the skip it or borrow it scale rather than the borrow it or buy it scale. And there's a few reasons for that. A lot of them are probably going to be my personal preference, and as a reviewer I like to say that when I notice it, because for some people it's going to be different, and that's probably why this book is getting so many mixed reviews. I think it's because the characters just aren't very good, in the sense that I don't like them, I don't hate them, I don't really feel anything about them, I don't really think they're interesting. So when you're doing a bunch of different perspectives and different characters, that can help revive that, but I really didn't like anyone. And another pet peeve of mine when you switch the perspective is that 2 of the voices were almost identical until later in the novel. So that's a pet peeve of mine. I really think if you are going to write multiple perspectives, then you have to define a voice for each character, and it kind of frustrates me when that doesn't happen. The personal bit comes in though when I just do not like the characters, I don't like the tone, I don't like the voice, I found it exhausting to read, and frankly I almost DNF'd it, but because my friend wanted me to read it, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going. I've already read 90 pages, so let me just finish this thing. The reason I almost DNF'd it is because the voice of the first character that starts, which is the mother/teacher, is so just cynical, so against the world, so just, I don't know, it's almost patronizing. It's just annoying. Like, I was like, wow, do you really hate the world this much? You know, it's just tiring to read. Like, I don't care. The writing also felt kind of cluttered. Sometimes she was just throwing stuff in, I felt, for the sake of throwing it in, like to put you off the path or something, which didn't really work because my other big issue with this novel was that I knew who done it. And I was kind of annoyed that I was right because I thought, there's no way I can be right because it's too obvious. But I was right, so bummer. It kind of feels like the first, I don't know, about a third of this book is written not as well as the last 2/3, which is kind of weird. I don't really know how that happens with like your writing style and how you plan stuff out, but it definitely seemed like the beginning was way more cluttered, the voices weren't there yet, and then somewhere in the last third she started to define them more, but I just feel like why not do that from the beginning? I don't know, I don't want to sound like too negative because it definitely had its good moments. I liked the traditional murder mystery bits, I liked the gothic notes, though they weren't as strong as I would have preferred, and I liked that the short story of this you know, mysterious writer all came together and was the structure of the overall murder mystery. I like those elements and I think it's fun. I just think overall it could have been executed better, and I really don't like being able to figure out who it is with such certainty. Like, I knew who it was, you know, and I thought I have to be wrong. There's no way. I don't know. I just guess I expected more. So while I think it has its moments and I think it has its good bits, I just think there are better murder mystery novels to get your hands on. I think with more enjoyable characters that you can enjoy in the sense that you love them or hate them and just don't feel really nothing about them except mild annoyance. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts on this. It's sort of a middle of the road book. It makes sense to me while it's getting mixed reviews because I think some people won't mind the voice and may even like the voices of the characters, which are so cynical and depressive and just annoying and sort of self-victimizing, and I just can't get behind it, you guys. I just can't. I just don't care, especially in a book like this. Probably not worth your money, but if you do want to borrow it or if you're curious about it, then just borrow it or get it on sale and don't maybe spend the full price of it. If you do want a good, like, traditional murder mystery written in this modern way, then definitely check out Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I'll link to it in the, you know, description thing if you want to check that out, because they are hard to find. And if you know any that are kind of like, you know, the Agatha Christie suspect list, weird incident, and then we've got to like figure out how it happened, that are written in a contemporary fiction way, then let me know because I'd love to hear about them. Maybe put together a list. And other than that, that's it for this little review of Stranger Diaries. Great concept. Would have liked a little bit more on the execution. If you liked this video, do me a favor before you pop off and watch the next one. Just press that little thumbs up icon. Drop me a comment below. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, but you like all things bookish, book reviews, TBRs, unhauls, all the good bookish stuff, then I'm your girl. So go ahead and press that subscribe button and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.